there's more people in now. Italy 2, Belgium 1. This team, what a team, man. Italy kicking out the number 1 ranked team in FIFA rankings. I love this team. I love this team. I hate this mic, but I love this team. What performance, what a togetherness, what mentality at the end. You see those guys at 10-15 minutes wasting time, getting injuries, using the dark arts, Bonucci, Chiellini, knowing what to do. This is what these guys know how to do, man. This is what these guys do. A lot of these guys, let's not forget, a lot of these guys are not even seasoned, winners. Berardi, Locatelli, these kind of guys haven't even played Champions League. Belotti. This is not a team of winners, but there are some core players in this team that know how to win and get things done, and we saw that out there today. Bonucci and Chiellini, we don't, as Interisti, we don't like them, and obviously even Juventini will admit they're not as great as they used to be. But this is how you handle someone like Lukaku, manhandle him. He didn't hardly got a sniff in the match. Obviously, he got his penalty, he got his goal. There was a few nice link-ups from Lukaku. But, hey, man, this is how you handle him, and this is where the question marks come for Lukaku. But this is not about Lukaku, man. This is about these Italy players kicking out Belgium once again. Belgians must hate Italians, by the way. 2016, Italy kicked out Belgium 2-0 under Antonio Conte. This time around 2-1 against Mancini's Italy. So Belgians must really, really hate Italians. And wow, it's just, I'm just so gassed, man. I'm just so gassed. Let's see who's in the house. We got RB comps, obviously Juve fan gassing up Chiellini, but yeah, we have to gas up Chiellini, man. We have to, coming in, injury. I said in the pre-match, I don't want Chiellini to play if he's 60-70%. Play him if he's actually fit and not get likely to get injured like he did before. But this guy, 36 years old, still can handle it with the best out there. So yeah, shouts out to Chiellini. We'll get onto some of the disaster classes, but let's at least focus on the positives. And let's focus, what's up, Daniele? Let's focus on the Barella turning up. We've been saying that he's a little bit, he's not feeling like the Barella that Inter fans know, that Italy fans know. He's been a little bit underwhelming, but this is what we needed from him. What a goal that was. Verratti and Barella combining. People have been calling for Locatelli to start, but you see the Verratti combining. But yeah, Barella really created that goal by himself in terms of getting past that defender and just unleashing that powerful shot into the side netting. What a goal, man. What a goal. What a performance in general. This guy was a lot more calm on the ball. He wasn't giving it away as much as he has been recently. He wasn't doing silly tackles. He was just on point and showing up on the big stage. He's a big game player. Barella, we've seen that Inter, against Juventus, against Milan in the derbies. This guy is a big game player, and he's turned up in the biggest game yet for Italy in his career. Against the likes of De Bruyne, who a lot of people are saying is the best midfielder in the world, but he did not look out of place there. So Barella's definitely up there for man of the match, and we'll discuss who is the man of the match, guys. And yeah, RB comps, as you said, Barella was magical. Okay, let's get on to the negative because everyone's mentioning it, and I've put it in my in the bar below. Spinazzola heartbreak, man. Really is heartbreak. I mean, for me, he's been the best Italian player this tournament till now. And even today, again, he was unplayable. Meunier, Tielemans, Witsel, whenever, whoever used to defend against him, Alderweireld, they just didn't know what to do with him. His pace, his dynamicism, his 1v1 ability, his touch as well, like everything just on point. And as soon as he went down, that was painful to see. Especially when the player pulls up by himself, muscular injury, you always know it's serious because players just don't pull up like that, and he just made the sign to get sub straight away. So hopefully he recovers quickly, but I think that's his tournament over. The way he was crying, tears, very sad to see. But Spinazzola, man, shouts out to him, man. He's had he's been one of the standout players in this tournament for me. As I said, best player for Italy till now. But now someone else needs to take over the mantle, and it could be Nicolino Barella, as we did today. And we talked about, the tactics before the match. Who's going to take control of the ball? Who's going to be looking to counterattack more? And we said, it probably is Belgium will prefer to hit on the counter, because of their pace on the counter, and they put in surprise inclusion of Jeremy Doku, who, my goodness, this guy was on one. This guy was electric. He's a very young winger who plays for Rennes in France. Surprise start. I don't think he's got any start in this tournament. He obviously, Martinez was thinking about trying to exploit Italy's defense. We talked about, and I said in my pre-match that Di Lorenzo's probably the weakness of that back line when Italy tuck back into a three at the back with Di Lorenzo tucking in. Against Austria, I feel like a couple of times there was a few players that got in behind him, or Alaba won that header, which led almost to that Arnautovic goal, which was disallowed. And today he was the one who gave away the penalty against Doku. But that pace, guys, I don't think there's, even if you put any other right back in our team there, definitely Florenzi wouldn't be able to keep up with Doku. So I'm not really blaming Di Lorenzo too much there, but he probably could have done a little bit better in that moment. It was a soft penalty, though. It was a soft penalty. You see them most of the time; they're not given, even though it was a shove in the back. I think, looking back at it, is definitely a penalty, but a very soft one that usually is not given. And if that one is given, then a lot more should be given. Especially Lukaku. This guy gets shoved like that a lot. But hey, man, hey, let's calm this down, man. Every time I'm seeing someone performing well, Inter fans are just like, get this guy to Inter. It was like Dumfries before, and I've seen people like saying Jan Sommer to Inter. It's just like, come on, guys, let's still enjoy the tournament without thinking about getting these players to Inter. I don't even know where Doku would really fit into Inter anyway. But yeah, he's a very impressive youngster. So yeah, I'm sure his price has just shot up straight to the moon after this performance. There was more a penalty for Italy than for Belgium. Yeah, Italy had a good shout for a penalty too, but I'm guessing you're talking about the Jorginho one, maybe. Yeah, I didn't really get to see the replay of that one, but yeah, as I said, it's a very, very soft one, Roberto. Hey, yeah, let's talk about that as well. Donnarumma, by the way, another underrated, very good save against De Bruyne when he cut in with his left foot. That rocket was flying top corner, and Donnarumma makes it look so easy. But that was not an easy save, guys. Like, this is how good Donnarumma is. He makes these saves look easy, and that's how scary this guy is. Like, this is a generational talent, and I want to poke fun at the cousins Milanisti for losing him for free, but really, like, this, you've lost a generational talent. Like, this guy is going to be Italy's number 10 for the next 10-15 years if he doesn't do something stupid or his mentality doesn't drop. Like, this guy is ridiculously good. And then he was talking I'm guessing he was talking some shit to Lukaku. He was talking some crap, and Lukaku shushed him straight after the penalty. And I saw Donnarumma smiled as well. And that Milan-Inter rivalry is still there, even though Donnarumma now is going to be a PSG player. But that Milano rivalry remains. Yeah, I wonder what Donnarumma said to him. But I don't know what he would say to him, because Lukaku's just scored so many goals past Donnarumma. He should be the last person to talk like that to Lukaku, to be honest. But it was good to see. It was like some nice banter. Akash in the house. Forza Azzurri, man. Yeah, man. Forza Azzurri for sure. Ahmad. Insigne got man of the match. Damn. All right, let's get into it. If UEFA gave Insigne man of the match instead of Barella, let's have a look. Let me share my who scored a screen with you guys. Let's decide who the man of the match was. Because for me, I think for a lot of us as Inter fans, we'll say Barella. But I can see why it was Insigne. Insigne today was on it, guys. I criticized him a little bit in my match preview, saying that, I wouldn't be even against putting Chiesa on that side instead of taking out Berardi, because he just wasn't taking on players. He wasn't trying to create stuff. But today he responded in terms of he was taking on players. I want to see actually how many dribbles he completed. Let's have a look. Well, only showing one dribble completed. I'm sure he completed more than that. I don't think that's accurate, because he beat Tielemans really easily for that goal. Oh, what a goal that was, guys. like Courtois is a tall, very good goalkeeper, and he could not get anywhere near that. And even he probably knew, like everyone knew that Insigne was going to do that. That's Insigne, RB and circle or RB and X, whatever, whichever console you play on. That was, but you just can't do. Even if you predicted that, you just can't stop it. And yeah, Insigne was on fire today with his link up. I can see why he was given. I will see why he was given the man of the match. Who got them? Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! Look at that, Jeremy Doku with 8 dribbles completed. Had the highest in the whole match, and Barella second with 3. So that's good to see. But yeah, I would give Barella the man of the match. To be honest, I'm not sure why Insigne deserved such a higher rating there. I would give my man of the match to Barella, assist and a goal, involved in both goals. So I would give my man of the match to Barella. What do you guys think? Let's have a look at the comments. Yeah, that's his patented curler, trademark Insigne curler, man. That's all he's got. Or other days we had Vieri, Totti, Del Piero, Inzaghi, Natale, now we're seeing Immobile, Velotti. Yeah, you say it's true, but look at the rest of this team, though. This is what I was saying before this tournament. I'm not really too bothered about this whole number 9 argument, because at the end of the day, it's more about what they offer off the ball, and that's where I have my problems with Immobile. Against Austria, he was not good, and today he was even worse, guys. Like, he was even worse today, Immobile. We need to talk about Immobile because I've been supporting. I'm going to support every player that plays for this team, but that is not good enough what he offered today. Lowest rated player on the team, quite rightly, in the starting 11, 6.1. I think he should be even lower because this guy's touch, people like to make fun of Lukaku's touch when he was at United, but this guy's touch was cement. This guy, like, nothing was sticking to him, and if it did stick, he would try to overdo it. He would try to take on a player. He would overrun the ball. The amount of times he lost the ball. Let me have a look. Does it show? Yeah, he was dispossessed 3 times, but I'm sure he misplaced a lot more passes as well. Like, he was just awful, man. Like I've said, I don't really care if Immobile or Belotti don't even score 1 goal in this tournament, as long as they link up well. But the link up play was just awful from Immobile. It's just not good enough. And he was, compared to the other players who's stepping up, you see our midfield, Jorginho, Verratti, Barella, like those guys, Insigne, the way he was keeping the ball, even Chiesa, the touch, they just look like top class players on the pitch. And Immobile just looked like a fish out of water. It does not look like he belongs there. And you can say, I don't know if it's his mentality or that's the limit of his ability. But I don't think that's the limit of his ability. I think he just gets, in these big moments. We've seen when he went to Dortmund, when he went to Sevilla, he's just he's a guy who just thrives in his comfort zone. We saw his goals at the beginning of the tournament in the group stage came at the Olympico. We were saying that it sounds silly, but that Olympico Stadium home factor seems to actually be true for Immobile. It seems like this guy only thrives when he's in his comfort zone, when he's at home, so to say. So yeah, for me, he's just not good enough at this level right now. But then you see Belotti come on, he fights, he hustles hard. He's got better hold up play because he's a lot more physical. But then again, I didn't see much improvement in terms of link up or touch. There it's not great. I mean, I wouldn't even be against to play someone like Raspadori at this rate, who's he's a link up player. He's almost like a false 9. Or even one of the other wingers or midfielders to play as a false 9 at this rate, because it's just we're almost playing like with the one last man. But I don't want to focus too much on the negative side of things. He wasn't good, but at the end of the day, he's there. But shouts out to Adrian as well, Rabona TV. I'm sure he must have done a watch along for this match, man. I'm sure you enjoyed, because guys, I thought this match was going to be. Man had more grass stains on his kit than he completed passes. Yeah, we saw that moment when Barella scored, he was on the floor injured, and then he got up as soon as Barella scored. Like, yeah, this guy, that was his biggest contribution, him on the floor causing chaos just by being on the floor. That was actually his biggest contribution. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, let's not focus too much on the negative, guys. Immobile, yeah, wasn't good enough, but the midfield today, this is why I wanted that Verratti, Jorginho, Barella midfield. Maybe physically they cannot get outmatched. Verratti was a little bit worrying in the first half. He was got that yellow card early. He looked a little bit edgy. He made a few other tackles that weren't great, and he might have even got the second yellow in the second half if the referee was a little bit more on it. But the way those guys control the ball, let's have a look at the stats. I'm pretty sure Italy had more possession, even though at the end it was all Belgium. I'm still quite confident that Italy had more possession. Let me have a quick look. Yeah. Italy ended up with 54% possession, and that's including that last 10-15 minutes where it was all Belgium. So, before that, I'm guessing it was over 60% for Italy. More shots, less on target, but, completing almost 100 passes more than Belgium, 5% more pass accuracy. Great. What a great performance. And this is what I was talking about. I was saying Roberto Martinez versus Mancini. Mancini is the superior coach to me. This is the Mancini imprint on this team. We talked about how this Italy team feels like a club team, and that's what it was like out there. These guys just know where to be, where to pass. There's 5 minutes in the second half where the triangles were just non-stop. It was Jorginho back to Verratti, back to Barella. Like there was constant triangles moving around. And the Belgium's teams, their pressing was useless. Like the team was keeping the ball so easily. It looked like Spain from the 2010s, the early 2010s. So this Italy team, man, and I saw so many comments on Twitter as well. Like no one's seen an Italy team like this. This is the most un-Italian Italy team you've ever seen, and it's so good to watch. Like it's so good to see that it's like that. It's just. It makes you proud to support a team like this, and the way that they celebrate together, the way they fight together. Bonucci and Chiellini, man, these are proper centre backs. You see the way they celebrated when De Bruyne hit a rocket at Chiellini's, and Chiellini headed it away, and Chiellini was like telling him it was strong, and like he was just enjoying, like they just enjoyed defending and working hard. And Spinazzola, man, oh my god, that goal line save against Lukaku. That's worth a goal. And Lukaku, man, this guy is just unlucky, isn't he? Like I'm sure I haven't even looked at Twitter, but I'm sure there's gonna be some memes out there of him, or someone's gonna look at why he should have scored there, why he should have got that header away. It looks like it was like literally a few millimeters away from his head. But this is where, Lukaku's reputation just kind of falters, isn't it? Like he just doesn't seem to have that luck that some guys have, like Ronaldo. Somehow will get 2 or 3 penalties in the match, and he'll get the win for Portugal. Lukaku got his penalty today, but he doesn't seem to just get that luck just to take him over the edge. We've talked about on this channel, and a few other people have always talked about, like, if Lukaku and Belgium won this tournament, which obviously they can't now. After Lukaku's season, it could have been, you could have put Lukaku in the Ballon d'Or shouts, but I'm not sure now. I'm sure he's still going to be in that top 20, top 10 list, Lukaku, after the season he's had. But yeah, I don't see that happening anymore now, unfortunately for him. But yeah, that's it's the cruel world of football. Hey, we got Anthony in the house. Let's go, brother. Let's go, man. I'm sure you enjoyed that one. Waking up early to see Italy demolish the number 1 ranked team in the world. Yeah, you're right, man. We pretty much dominated that game. I wouldn't say for the whole game, but in terms of, we had Belgium where we wanted them to. There was a couple of moments on the counter-attack where Belgium looked really scary, but apart from that, I think you're right. This was such a convincing display after, especially that Austria match where it was not convincing. This one, even though the scoreline is only 2-1, this one's even more convincing to me than the 3-0s we had in the group stages. Like the way we handled top class players today was amazing. What's up, Keanu? Do you think Bastoni will have a chance to play? He asks. No, I think now that Chiellini's back fit, and we saw that Acerbi seems to be number 2 in line after Chiellini in Mancini's ranking. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see any more of Bastoni unless he comes on in the final stages of a match, like he brought on Toloit today to make it, a 5 at the back. But he could bring on, Bastoni as well. But yeah, unfortunately for Inter fans, I don't think we're gonna see much of Bastoni. Belgium midfield non-existent with the Toby from The Office, Avi. I'm liking that. Yeah, that's where the game was won, the midfield, and that's what I was saying. Locatelli didn't even come onto the pitch today, but that's an elite midfield. Jorginho, Barella, Verratti. It's an elite midfield. I know Locatelli's had is grace and form. He's had a couple of goals, but there's levels to the game, guys. I keep saying. Marco Verratti, there's a reason why he's been playing at PSG for all these years. This guy is elite. That midfield is elite. Barella's now shooting to that world-class level now. He's announced himself to the world today, and this is what I was expecting in this tournament. I was expecting Barella to shoot up to the moon, as Brozovic would say, football stars. Jorginho already did it this season with Chelsea winning the Champions League. This is an elite midfield, and that's what we dominate that midfield. Witsel and Tielemans. I think Martinez played it wrong. I feel like he probably should have gone with 3 midfielders in there. It just didn't work. They were chasing shadows for a lot of that match, Tielemans and Witsel. So that's the Mancini masterclass there. And Martinez, that the Jeremy Doku card almost worked. Like the amount of dribbles that guy completed, the amount of chaos that guy caused. But yeah, it didn't quite. They couldn't get control of the ball, and Chiesa as well, man. Let's give a shout out to Chiesa for starting the game ahead of Berardi. He wasn't outstanding, but he just causes chaos with his pace. He can switch either side. He can go inside, outside. His work rate to help out Di Lorenzo with Doku as well was important. His link up with Barella at times was good, but at times not great. But I'm happy that Chiesa got the start over Berardi, and I think he probably now deserves to continue playing in that position. But again, I keep saying this, and you probably guys are getting sick of me saying this, but you can't get mad for any decisions that Mancini makes, because he deserves to. Whatever decision he's made until now has been pretty much spot on. So even if he wants to start on Brian Cristante, I'll let him. Yeah, and it was a surprise that he brought on Brian Cristante instead of bringing on Locatelli or Pessina, who both of them didn't even get some minutes today, which was a massive surprise. But Mancini thought, and this was one of my worries before the match, the height in midfield. Witsel and Tielemans, especially Witsel, much taller than the Italian midfielders. So I guess Cristante got in there for the physicality and the height. He plays centre back a lot of times for Roma as well, so he knew that probably he's a little bit superior to Locatelli in that field. So it was a very tactical, thought-out decision by Mancini there, which probably raised a lot of eyebrows when it happened, but it worked. It worked in the end. What's those twats Neville and Vieira saying? Well, Vieira's team is out anyway, and if they're talking about intensity, you tell me, like it's Italy team. That's how many teams have you seen play with that intensity? Like that, the tempo that Italy played with, the pressing, that was they play like a Premier League team. It was like up and down. It was like a Premier League match at times, where Italy kept up with that rhythm. And a lot of the times, this is what in Europe Italian teams have a struggle when the tempo is raised. Because Serie A's played a little bit of a slower tempo. These Italian teams usually, and the international team as well, as a consequence of the style of play in Italy, usually suffers when the tempo is high. But this team is not. This is a modern team that plays with a high tempo. And yeah, as Amit says, Gary Neville, what are you saying now, brother? What are you saying now? And I mean, it's lining up. It could be lining up for a Gary Neville, derby in the final. It could be Italy versus England in the final, the way he's lining up. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because obviously it's Spain next. Chiesa finishes like me when I play FIFA. Yeah, man. But the way this guy, by the time he gets into his shooting position, he's done so many things. He's such a busy bunny, isn't he? Like, he's done a step over, he's done a fake shot, he's like sprinted. Like, by the time he gets to the shooting position, he's already like knackered. And that's one of his weaknesses. He's kind of lacks that kind of composure at times, but he had that against Austria in that goal. So he'll get better. But yeah, I'm happy with Barella's game. Hey man, That is going to be such a good midfield battle, and I can't wait to watch that midfield battle between our midget midfield of Jorginho, Verratti, Barella, or Locatelli versus Pedri, Busquets, Koke, or Thiago. Like those are elite midfields fighting it out. Like that is going to be super interesting. I can't wait to watch that match, man. That is going to be so good. Yeah, like I said, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. England still need to do the work. I'm not saying that they're gonna get to the final. They still need to get past Ukraine, and then it'll probably be Denmark or whoever. Let's see who will be next for them. But it is kind of looking like that, in like they did in the World Cup, a little bit of a Mickey Mouse run now after that Germany win. But yeah, you never know in this tournament. We saw Switzerland today took Spain right to the end. They surprised me once again, Switzerland. I thought Spain would win a little bit easier than they did today, but they once again Spain. I thought they started converting chances, but they wasted so many chances today again. But in this tournament, all the teams are well prepared. All the teams, you can't, even these smaller teams, these guys, just everyone's physically fit. You can't call anyone. You can't, call anyone out. And yeah, this is a great point, Akash. Italy just shifts gear at will. At some point, Italy slow the game down, and then all of a sudden it'll be a long ball in behind to Spinazzola, who somehow, he's the highest guy forward, and everything changes quickly. It's such a well-oiled machine. It really reminds me of Conte's into this Mancini team, but a lot more technical, less on the little bit less grinta and a little bit less, long big ball up to Lautaro, Lukaku, more interplay between the midfield. But the way some of the patterns are very recognized. Actually, yeah, speaking of the play pattern, we once again saw, let me pull up a tweet from the Premier League panel. Italy's second goal is an example of a pattern of play that's occurred throughout the tournament. Spinazzola pushing high up to pin back the opposition right wing back and allowing Insigne to drift into the left half space. And we talked about this space here, which Insigne likes to pick up a lot. It's like it's almost like clockwork. Teams know that we're going to do it now because we've been doing it the whole tournament, but they can't stop it. And Insigne, when he's in this form, this is when he can be devastating. And this is the Insigne that we've been waiting to play. We've been waiting to see. Sorry. How are England getting so far? They look so unconvincing and out of ideas, bro. Apart from Italy, how many teams have looked convincing to you? Like Euro 2016, did you watch Portugal? They were one of the worst in terms of performance. One of the worst teams to ever win, not on like paper as a team, but as in the performances that led up to that win was so bad. No wins in the group stage, extra time wins. Just stumbling through in the final, getting that goal from nothing. France 2018 didn't look particularly great. Italy 2006, just getting the job done. That's how you win international tournaments, bro. Like England might look unconvincing to you, but 0 goals conceded in the whole tournament until now. Southgate knows this is the pragmatic way, is the way forward in the international football. You don't need to play nice football, international football to be successful. And it's just how it is. You make sure you don't concede, and then with the quality England have, individual quality, they're right up there. England, one of the best teams in the world, with so many options up front. And they're doing the job, even with Harry Kane misfiring. This they might look unconvincing, and they are unconvincing, but to me, that's Southgate is convincing me that he's becoming a really good coach, because his pragmatism is what reaps result in the international stage. You saw Deschamps' France team is basic as 4-4-2, trying to counterattack teams. And it works. And England, matched up against Germany, won the ball back a couple of times, counterattacked them and scored, and punished them. And a couple of times, Pickford came through for them, or Muller misses the chance. But that's the luck you need to win a tournament. So I know everyone's hating on England, but they deserve to be where they are right now. Definitely Denmark have turned out, everyone was talking about those dark horses. They actually have turned out to be the dark horses. Let's win these Euros for Spinazzola. Oh, great point from Juventus era. Yeah, his Euros are over, but let's do it for Spina, man. Let's use that as like a bonding for the team. Bring everyone together. But it's a little bit worrying, man. Emerson is not on that same level as Spinazzola, but I have faith in him. Before he was actually the starting left back before this tournament. For Mancini seemed to really love him, even though he barely played for Chelsea. So we'll keep faith in Mancini and Emerson. Italy never lost that defensive DNA, although Mancini plays possession football. Exactly, man. You can see these guys, even though it's a different Italian team, they still have that spirit. That's what Bonucci and Chiellini bring. That never die spirit. Fight until the end. Love defending. Put your head where it hurts. Type behavior. England is a replica of Portugal Euro 2016. But yeah. I wouldn't play better than that Portugal team, bro. Like they didn't even win. Like at least England won 2 out of the 3 group stage games. Like that Portugal team finished 3rd. Like it's getting to that. You could compare them, but it's not that bad. Everyone just wants to see England getting humbled. Hey man, you guys just they're not letting these guys getting enthusiastic. Like let them be enthusiastic. There's good things happening. They go to the semi-finals of a World Cup in 2018, and now they beat Germany, who always used to beat them. Like let these guys have some happiness, guys. I don't know why you got so much beef with the English. Oh damn, Daniele, is that true? Is it been confirmed? It's a ruptured Achilles. Wow. That's a long time. That's a very serious injury. That's the injury Witzel had actually. It took him 6 months, but it's very difficult injury to come back from, because the Achilles is the bit of your foot or your leg where you put all your weight in. It's very underrated. One of my friends had a ruptured Achilles, and he's not played football for a few years now because he says he just can't put his weight on it. But I'm sure footballers probably get much better treatment. Yeah, when we talked about Spinazzola, his injury issues, I was saying he was the original Stefano Sensi. He was the one that used to be super injury prone. And I know Inter fans have been like, oh, we should have signed him, this, that. But he did fail a medical. Marotta was unsure about his actual, there was some medical issues or concerns with him. And this has been the first season where he's got some decent playing time regularly. He was always had injury issues at Atalanta and Juventus. So that's these players, man. It's such a shame, Sensi, Verratti is always kind of similar, not as bad, but yeah, it's a shame that these guys are made of glass. Oh, Sky Sports Italia reported it, so yeah, very good source. So what a shame. So that's probably means that Roma might have to dip into this transfer market if it's a ruptured Achilles. That's a long-term injury. Mourinho might have to look at another left back unless he wants to play Davide Santon for Roma. But yeah, man, it's time to go to sleep. I'm sorry about those first 2 minutes because my mic again was messing up. I was talking to a muted mic for 2 minutes, but you guys stuck it through. I don't know why you guys even like stayed there for 2 minutes. I would have been like, yo, this guy doesn't even know that his mic is muted. I would have just left. But appreciate you guys. So gas, man. On to the semis. Let's have it. Spain, the Espanols. We'll take it, man. Obviously, we'll do a full match preview. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up, man. Leave a thumbs up for Spinazzola. Get well soon, Spina. Leave a thumbs up for Barellino. Big performance. Big match player. For Insigne's Curler. For Donnarumma. For Bonucci, Chiellini. Yeah, guys, I'll see you for the next one, which obviously will be the Spain preview. And if you're Inter fans, don't worry, I'm going to do more Inter content coming soon. But yeah, buonanotte a tutti. Good night, everyone. Forza Italia, Forza Inter.